So here's the thing about The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Every few years a new batch of readers, air quotes, discover it, and every few years I sit through the exact same discourse like it's Groundhog Day for book people. Some teenager on booktube or BookTok reads it and calls it, air quotes, problematic, and suddenly everyone's acting like Donna Tartt committed a war crime. Because, oh my god, she writes about horrible selfish people doing horrible selfish things to each other. Shocking. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here drinking my lukewarm coffee, staring at my overcrowded bookcase like, is this real life? Or is this just fantasy? Is it a landslide? If you get that, you are my people. Is this what art discourse has become? Are we genuinely shocked? A book about pretentious, unhinged classic students depicts them as pretentious, unhinged, morally questionable human beings? Let's talk about the book, not the aesthetic mood board on Pinterest, not that god-awful dark academia starter pack meme, not the academic blazer that you bought that cost more than my entire student loan. Let's talk about the actual book. Welcome to this episode of The Bored Book Geek. My name is Darth James, and if you want to support this weird little corner of the internet, you're welcome to check out Ko-fi, where you can buy me a coffee, Patreon, Substack, as well as YouTube channel memberships. Also, remember, if you don't want to do that, you can always just like this video, leave a comment, and hit that hype button. Let's start the show. Let's begin where we should always begin, the opening line. The snow in the mountains was melting, and Bunny had been dead for several weeks before we understood the gravity of our situation. No wasted words, no breadcrumbs, just Bunny equals dead, we equal idiots, strap in. Most novels build towards the murder. Build towards the big key event. Tartt starts with it. She sips her tea and says, okay, now that's out the way. It's bold, it's beautiful, and it's a literary slap in the face. It screams, this is not a whodunit. This is why did you absolute geniuses think this was a good idea? That's what gets people. The quiet, cold inevitability. You feel like the tragedy is humming under every sentence like background radiation. Here's the part where I rub my temples like I'm trying to summon some kind of, I don't know, demon of patience. This book was published in 1992. It's set in the 80s. Pre-internet. Pre-Twitter. Pre-book discourse controlled by 19-year-olds with ring lights and a fear of morally ambiguous characters. Except if they're riding dragons with giant roosters. Yet people read it like today, like it came out yesterday. Oh my god, they use slurs. Yes. Let's be real. Yes. Privileged 80s college students. That's literally the point. Oh my god, these characters aren't relatable. Why would you want to relate to them? This isn't Friends, it's tragedy in a overpriced turtleneck. Tartt is not endorsing anything. She's writing about the kind of people who think translating Greek poetry makes them better than everyone else. Including, apparently, the law. The fictional college is basically Bennington College in drag. Snowy New England aesthetic, rich kids with generational wealth and emotional constipation, sweaters that cost more than your rent, the constant smell of cigarettes, pretentiousness, and daddy's money. I think we all know these people, I've been in those circles. It's beautiful, it's intoxicating, it's rotten to the core. This is the genius of the book. Tartt creates a world you want to move into and then quietly whisper, don't get too close, it bites. And suddenly all that beauty, the Greek lessons, the tight-knit group, the glamour, feels like a trapdoor about to be pulled under your feet. And let's be real, the seduction of intellectualism. Richard is basically every kid who went to university and reinvented themselves to look interesting. He sees this little cohort of classic students and thinks, yes, this is my chance. Time to pretend I love Plato. But academic beauty becomes a cult. Intelligential worship is what kills them. not the fantasy, not the Dostoevsky. The complex does most of the heavy lifting. This is a class novel. Everyone but Richard is rich. Old money rich. The kind of rich where consequences are a suggestion, not a rule. People think the book is about Greek tragedy. It's actually what happens when a poor kid desperately wants to belong to a world would happily let them freeze to death in Vermont snowbank. Richard lies so much it becomes his love language. He curates himself like an Instagram feed. Here's me being mysterious. Here's me pretending I have a vaguely tragic past. Here's me not telling one I live in a literal garage. He wants to fit in so badly, he becomes morally flexible enough to join a murder club. Everything that looks beautiful in this book is dangerous. You have characters who are eloquent, colder than dead fish. You have other characters who are gorgeous, tragic, hot messes wrapped in cable knit sweaters. The group, aesthetic icons maybe, morally yikes. Beauty lures you in and it smothers you. Greek Tragedy 101. The moment Richard meets them, the ending is already written. That's the real horror, knowing Bunny dies. And still hoping, unironically, that maybe this time they won't push him off a cliff. Here's the issue. People read books today like they're grading them for moral behaviour. They want perfect characters, perfect politics, perfect language, perfect ethics, and if a book doesn't align with their personal manifesto, they throw it in the trash and upload a rant. But The Secret History isn't a self-help book. It's not here to validate you, it's here to show you how ugly people can be under the prettiest of surfaces. If your metric for judging literature is would I be friends with these characters, then congratulations, you've basically eliminated 99% of every book ever written, 90% of classical literature and most of Shakespeare, and probably about 80% of the people you've fucked. People still read The Secret History because Tartt nailed the universal craving to belong, and shows you how dangerous that craving becomes when you finally get what you want. It endures because it's not a vibe, it's not a trend, it's not a dark academia Pinterest board with the same images from everyone else's. It is a tragedy, a slow, cold, enigmatic tragedy, and it hits hard because it's meant to. If you read it with the moral expectations of 2025 instead of the context of the 80s, and even the 90s, and maybe the context of the academic world today, you've missed everything that makes it powerful.